Good day, grade 8 learners. So in this module, you will be learning 3 lessons. Module 7, Rectangular Coordinate System. You will also be learning linear equations into variables and also how to get the slope of a line. Are you now ready? Let's proceed. Let's start with Lesson 1, Rectangular Coordinate System. What I need to know. At the end of the lesson, you are expected to describe the rectangular coordinate system, define and illustrate the coordinate axis, the origin and a point on the coordinate plane, and describe and plot positions on the coordinate plane using coordinate axes. Are you familiar with number line? If yes, well and good. If not, let us recall the basic form of a mathematical graph, the number line. It represents the real number system. Try to look at this. So, as you can see, the arrows on both ends indicate that the line extends infinitely in the opposite directions. So, it extends infinitely in the opposite directions. Okay? So, we have here the negative direction going to the left and the positive direction going to the right. Take note that the infinite points corresponds to the real numbers, where the numbers to the right of 0 are positive numbers, or what we call as positive real numbers, and those to its left are the negative real numbers. So the real numbers corresponding to a point is called the coordinate of the point. Alright? And please take note that 0 is called the origin. What's new? Look at the grid at the left side here. So this is the rectangular coordinate system, or we also called as Cartesian coordinate plane. So in this case, it is formed by the two number lines that intersects at the right angles. So you have here two number lines, the horizontal and the vertical number lines. The horizontal number line is called the x-axis, and the vertical number line is called the y-axis. The point where the axes meet is called the origin, which has the coordinates 0, 0. The x and y axis divide the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants, and these are labeled counterclockwise. These are quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And take note that the first or the signs of the first and second coordinates vary in the 4 quadrants. Okay? So for quadrant 1, the sign of the coordinates are positive x and positive y. So in other words, the x value or the abscissa is positive, and the ordinate or the y value is also positive. For quadrant 2, the x value or the abscissa is negative, and the y value or the ordinate is positive. For quadrant 3, the abscissa is negative. Both abscissa and ordinate or the x and y value are negative. And for the quadrant 4, it's the opposite. So the x value or the abscissa is positive and the ordinate or the y value is negative. So I hope the signs are clear in each quadrant. So there are also points which lie only in the x-axis and the y-axis. So if the points only lie in the x-axis, take note that we can have the coordinates as x, the value of x, then our y is 0. And for the points which lie in the y-axis have coordinates 0 as our x, as our x, and the value of y. Yes, so it means that their point is just any in the y-axis. It could be positive 6 in the y-axis or negative 5, negative 4 in the y-axis. So they will have these coordinates. And take note, x and y are real numbers. Let's try this activity to check your understanding. So let's determine the quadrant where the following points are located. So we have here number 1, point M, which has the coordinates of negative 4 and 5. Point number 2, we have here point N, which has the coordinates of negative 3 and negative 6. Number 3, point R, the coordinates are positive 2 and negative 6. Number 4, we have point 6. The coordinates are positive 7 and positive 9. And for number 5, we have point F. We have negative 4 and negative 1 as coordinates. So let's find out. So let's start with number 1, point M. So the coordinates are negative 4 and 5. So all you have to do is just to look at this coordinate, our Cartesian plane, and we just have to plot the points. So let's look for negative 4. Take note that negative 4 here is the x value. So we got here negative 4, then 5. So the value of y is 5. So therefore, this is the point. And this is located in quadrant 2. Alright? So it's in quadrant 2. So let's have number 2. So we have point N, and the coordinates are negative 3. The x value is negative 3 and negative 6. Alright, so what quadrant is it? So it's in quadrant 3. Good job. So let's move on to number 3. We have point R. So it's point M here in number 1. Number 2, it's point N. So number 3 is positive 2. We have here positive 2. Then the y value is negative 6. So this is point R. So with which quadrant is it located? So it is located in, yes, that's right, it's in quadrant 4. Now let's have number 4, the point S. So it has the positive 7 as the x value and positive 9. So positive 9, it will just extend. So we have here the point S. So it is in, alright, it's in quadrant 1. That's right. And for point M, we will have negative 4 in the x-axis and negative 1. So we have here our F, and it is located in, that's correct, it's in quadrant 3. Alright, so I believe you are now you already know where to locate the points in our Cartesian plane. Now let's move on. Let's have this another activity to check if you really understood our lesson. So indicate the axis where the following points lie. So all we have to do is just to know or to indicate if it lies in the x-axis or the y-axis. Take note, we only have two axes. So for number 1, we have here the coordinates -4, 0. So the x value is -4 and the y value is 0. Therefore, it is located in, yes, it's located in the x-axis. Now let's proceed to number 2. We got here our x value is 0, but our y value is 8, positive 8, so it will just extend. So therefore, from the coordinates, you can already just identify that it is located in the y-axis. That's right. Now let's move on to number 3. Last number. So we have here positive 6, yes. Positive 6 here is x value. So we will go to the horizontal number line. So positive 6, and there is no value, or the y value is 0. Therefore, it is located in, yes, that's right, it is located in the x-axis. Were you able to answer the activity? Yes, good job, and I'm so happy that you have understood the lesson. Now, get ready for another learning battle ahead. What is it? In this lesson, you will locate the position of given points in the Cartesian coordinate plane. And to locate, you have to locate a point A with the coordinates x and y. You need to do the following. First is to start the origin. Second, move the x units horizontally along the x-axis. Third, move the y units vertically. And the last one is to draw the point and label it with its point label. So, the one that we did a while ago. Let's take a look at the following examples. Example 1, plot the following points. We have here point A with the coordinates of 2, -1, and point B with the coordinates of -3 and 4. So we need to plot the following points in the Cartesian coordinate plane. So we need to have a Cartesian coordinate plane. So in this case, how to plot the following points? First, according to the steps, we have to locate, let's have first point A. Let's locate point A. We have to move 2 units. Since the x-axis, or the x value, or the abscissa is +2, we have to move 2 units to the right. So from the origin, 2 units, 1, then 2. And then from the right, and then we have here -1 as the y value, or the ordinate, so we have to move 1 unit down. So 1, 2, so only 1. So from 2 to -1 in the y value, since y is negative. So therefore, this is point A. So we can have point A here. Next, to locate point B, you have to move 3 units. Since the abscissa is negative, so we need to move 3 units to the left. So 1, 2, 3. And take note, we need to move 3 units from the origin. So we get here -3. Next is, since the y ordinate, or the ordinate, is +4, so we need to go up. So we need to move 4 units up, since the upper part is the positive. So from -3, we need to move 4 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, okay, this is already point B. So to show the clearer image, this is the graph. So when you plot, so you can have here the point B, which has the coordinates of -3 and +4. And we have here the point A with the coordinates of +2 and -1. So that is just how to plot our points in our Cartesian coordinate plane. Now let's have example number 2. Give the coordinates of the points on the graph at the left. So this is the graph. So we have here point M. So the point M. So we also have here the point R, the point Q, and point N. So we need to know the coordinates of the points. So let's start with point M. So how to know the coordinates of the points? So all we have to do is just to look at where the point lies. So let's have here for the x-axis. So we just have to create an imaginary line from the x-axis so that we can identify the x value. So it lies on -4. And for the y, we just have also to create an imaginary line to know where it lies. So we got here +3. Therefore, the coordinates are -4 as for the x value and +3 as the y value. So I just transferred the coordinates near M, so it will be easier for you to identify the coordinates of M. So again, -4 here is our x value, and 3 here is our y value. Now let's move on to point R. So same with what we did with point M. So we just have to create an imaginary line to the x-axis and the y-axis. So we will be able to identify which value does it lie. Does the point lie? So here we have here for the x value, we have here +4, and for the y value, we have here +5. So the coordinates of point R are +4 and +5. Now let's move on to Q, the point Q. So again, create an imaginary line. So for point Q, our x value lies on -2. And our y value lies on the -3. So therefore, our coordinates for point Q are -2 and -3. And for point N, for point N, we have here +2 and for the y value, we have here -3 as the coordinates. Therefore, the point M has the following coordinates: -4 and 3. Point N has 2 and -3. Point P has yes, we still have point P in which the x value is 5 and it lies on the x-axis. Therefore, there is no y value. So the coordinates for point P are 5 and 0. So that's why here we got here point P as 5, 0, and Q as -2 and -3, and point R as positive 4 and 5. Now let's have this example 3. Plot each set of points on the same set of axes. Connect the points and identify the geometric figure formed. So we got here for number 1, point A has the coordinates of 3 and 3, 6. Point B, 5 and 4. And point C has 1 and -2 coordinates. Number 2, we have point W with the coordinates of positive 4 and 3. Point X, we have here the coordinates -3 and 4. Point Y, -3 and -3 for the coordinates. And point Z, we have the coordinates positive 4 and -4. Let's start with number 1. So for point A, we have to locate for point A first. We need to draw and move 3 units from the origin of the x-axis. So 1, 2, and 3. And 6, since 6 is positive, therefore we have to move 6 units upward. So from 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or just simply locate 6 in the coordinate system. So we have here the point A. And for point B, we will locate 5 and 4. So move 5 units from the right, from the origin. So we have here 5, and then since 4 is positive, therefore we need to move upward. So going to 4. So this is point B. And for point C, we have here positive 1. So 1 unit from the origin for the x value, and since there is a value of y which is -2, and it's negative, so we need to move downward 2 units from 1, 2. So therefore it's the point C. And the instruction was to connect the points and identify the geometric figure form. So now let's connect. So the geometric form in number 1 is a triangle. Now let's proceed to number 2. For number 2, we have to plot the points of point W, X, Y, and Z. So let's start with point W. So we got here same as what we did in number 1. For point W with the coordinates positive 4 and 3, we need to locate it by plotting. So we have here 4, positive 4, so we need to move positive 4 from the origin. So it's to the right since it's positive. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then since there is a value of y which is also positive, we need to move upward from the 4. 1, 2, 3. So we have here the value of W. So have here point X. And for the point Y, we just have to simply locate -3 in the x-axis and -3 in the y-axis. So we got here the point Y. And for the point Z, we have to locate +4 in the x-axis and -4 in the y-axis. So we got here the point X. And after that is we have to connect. So as we connect, we were able to form a parallelogram for number 2. So here for number 1, again we have here a triangle, And for number 2 is a parallelogram. So that is just how you plot points if given are just coordinates of the points. So that's it for rectangular coordinate system, and I believe you are now ready to answer our activities. Now let's check your understanding. Let's have activity 7.2. What's more? A. Complete each sentence with a correct word or phrase. Number 1. The pair of numbers 2 and 4 is called a unblank pair. Number 2. The coordinates of the origin is blank. Number 3. The vertical axis of the Cartesian plane is also called blank. Number 4, in the ordered pair 7 and -8, the -8 is called the blank. 5, to plot the point with the coordinates 4 and -6, start at the blank and move 4 units to the blank and then 6 units blank. That's for letter A. B. Indicate which quadrant contains the given point. If a point lies on one of the coordinate axes, indicate which one. Alright, so number 1, we have here -6 and 4. Number 2, -1 and -1. Number 3, 0 and -7. Number 4, 5 and -1/2. Number 5, -12 and +5. Number 6, 8 and 0. Number 7, -6 and 9. Number 8, +2 and +3. Number 9, +4 and -2. And number 10, -3/4 and 0. That's for B. C. Answer each problem. Number 1, plot the points A, which has the coordinates of +2 and -3. Point B, with the coordinates -3 and -2. And point C, with the coordinates 3 and 2 in a rectangular coordinate plane. Next is you have to label each coordinates in the coordinate plane. B. Draw triangle ABC. And what kind of triangle is ABC? Number 2, plot points 2 and 5. Then coordinates -1 and -3, -3 and 1, and -5 and -2 in a rectangular coordinate plane. Connect these points and determine the geometric figure formed. And that is for letter C. Alright, so that's all for what's more activities. So when you answer those, take note of the following. What I need to remember. The rectangular coordinate system or Cartesian coordinate system was invented by the philosopher and mathematician René Descartes. He was born on 1576 and died on 1650. This system is formed by 2 perpendicular number lines, one vertical or the y-axis and the other horizontal or the x-axis, which meets at the origin with the coordinates 0 and 0. Origin is the point where the x and y-axis intersects. Quadrant is any 4 regions in which the plane is divided by the x and y axis. These are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4 in a counterclockwise direction, starting from the upper right of the coordinate plane. You also have to remember that coordinates are represented by an ordered pair denoted by the symbol xy or the abscissa for the x and y as the ordinate, where x is the directed distance of the point from the y-axis and y is the directed distance of the point from the x-axis. The x-coordinate is called the abscissa and the y-coordinate is called the ordinate. Also take note of the quadrantal points. These are points which are located in a quadrant. Axial points are points that lie on any axis. And take note that any point located on either axis, either x or y axis, is not in any of the quadrants. It means that they don't belong in quadrant 1, 2, or 3, or even 4. Alright, so that's it for lesson 1, and I will be leaving you with this quote: the harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you finally achieve it. So I hope that you will really work hard in your mathematics activities. So that's all for this lesson. And I hope you learned something.